In this video, we explain the process of calculating an in-service member's withdrawal benefit which becomes payable upon exiting the fund prior to retirement. We also explain how certain factors outside of the fund's control may fluctuate the member's withdrawal benefit from month to month. Firstly, it is important to understand that the EPPF is a defined benefit pension fund and not a defined contribution fund. In a defined benefit fund, your retirement benefit is defined ahead of time and is determined by an actuarial formula. The calculation method is defined in the rules of the fund, and it also considers additional voluntary contributions. Defined contribution funds, on the other hand, allow employees to contribute and invest in funds over time to save for retirement. As such, an employee is given the responsibility to choose the investments offered by the plan. As mentioned, this is not the case in a defined benefit fund such as the EPPF. Let's get into the details. What is a cash withdrawal benefit? In a nutshell, your cash withdrawal benefit is accumulated member contributions, which would include bonuses and additional voluntary contributions calculated using the fund interest rate. However, to ensure that you receive a fair withdrawal benefit when you leave the fund, this cash withdrawal benefit is tested against your minimum individual reserve or MIR value. Once calculated, it is the greater of the cash withdrawal amount or the MIR amount that would be payable to you. What is your MIR? The MIR is not a pot of money. It is a present-day value of your pension. In other words, it is a calculation of the pension that you have accrued up to your date of leaving the fund prior to retirement. This amount is converted into a capital value as at your normal retirement date. In other words, a projection of your pension amount at your future date of retirement. Thereafter, it is represented in a present-day value, using the earnings yield rate, which is published by the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, FSCA, at the end of each month. What is the earnings yield rate? As mentioned, the EPPF is a defined benefit fund, and we understand that a formula is used to calculate your cash withdrawal benefit. A variable in the formula is that of the earnings yield rate. The EPPF utilizes 40% of that rate as prescribed in terms of the Pension Funds Act. As the earnings yield rate is linked to the performance of the local equity market, you would appreciate that market movement is unpredictable. And since market movement is unpredictable, the MIR changes from month to month. When the earnings yield moves up, the withdrawal benefit reduces. When it moves down, the withdrawal benefit increases. It should be emphasized that the EPPF has no impact on how the earnings yield rate is determined. Therefore, the value of a member's MIR is not influenced by the fund's own investment performance, but rather the earnings yield rate. So how does the earnings yield affect your MIR value? Let's consider the story of Ben. Ben is a 40-year-old male member with a final average salary of 500,000 rands and a past service period of 15 years. Therefore, Ben has 25 years left until he reaches the normal retirement age of 65 years. The actuarial formula is based on Ben's pensionable years of service, pensionable salary, and applicable actuarial factors. Consider two scenarios. In scenario 1, 40% of earnings yield is 1.0%. Applying the actuarial formula, the member MIR value is 1.6 million rand. And in scenario 2, 40% of earnings yield is 2.0%. Applying the actuarial formula, the member MIR value is 1.2 million rand. It is clear from the example that the MIR value of a member is expected to grow over time as salary and service period increases. However, when the earnings yield increases, your withdrawal benefit reduces and vice versa. Now that you know how the formula works, you can understand why your withdrawal benefit fluctuates every time the earnings yield changes. For this reason, you are urged to keep track of your MIR movement and to speak to our call center should you require any further information on your member record. Please dial 0800 11 4548 or email info@eppf.co.za. For dedicated assistance in understanding the calculation of your withdrawal benefit or your benefit statement, please contact any of our regional retirement fund consultants. Their contact details can be found on the EPPF website at www.eppf.co.za.